Hi, so this is an experiment really on workflow from Photoshop to ComfyUI and back to Photoshop, and we'll see how it turns out because I'm not cheating and practicing it all first. I'm just going to start at the very first idea end and see what we find, see where we end up at the other end. I'm having a little bit of problem, so I love what AI can do, but it's using it to work for my purposes is what I'm having trouble with. Anyway, well, enough of my troubles, we'll see. So I have drawn on a straight draw on a canvas, big brush. I've drawn a silhouette of a sort of bridge. And what I'm going to do here is draw a depth map and then see what that makes, and then use what it makes to inform how I change it and edit it to more to how I like it. So I'll be doing generations in ComfyUI and picking the bits I like and dumping the bits I don't, which I think is a pretty good workflow. So what I do is, as it's a depth map, if we go a little bit, if we come towards us, I add another layer of darker. So that's a bit of a town and whatever. We don't know. It's a bit of a town, I think. I think it's going to be a bit of a town. And then we come forward again, there's a bit more town, a couple more chimneys and so forth. And each time I come nearer to me, I go darker a bit. Eventually, it'll be the other way around. But I find it easier to paint and visualise getting darker towards me. But some might be quite happy going lighter towards you, it depends. Anyway, so then we go away from us, so I make a layer underneath and I draw in a paler tone, a few cliffy bits, then I draw some more cliffy bits even further away, and more cliffy bits. Yes, I had a lot of cliffy bits, I can only apologise. Even further away, and then a very distant row of mountains or stuff. Over the top of that, I've put a little bit of cloudy noise. It's called difference clouds, and I've put them in on linear burn so that they put a little bit of tonal variation in each area, which I vaguely hope the AI might think is significant in some way. What it does is put variation that doesn't exceed the bounds of the tonal area, so it doesn't pull any bit too far forwards or push it too far back. And then I invert the whole thing, and then I've picked the colours. I can pick the tones off this for near and far, and then I've just scribbled stuff and cut holes and erased bits and all sorts of stuff to add detail for it to imagine upon, and give as much guidance as I want to give at this stage. And this is always the tricky thing with AI, I find, is you want to give guidance, but if you give too much guidance, then you lose the advantage of using AI because of the things it does. It really is quite difficult. I don't pretend to understand the ins and outs of it really. But so I'll just quickly show how I scribble on this. So I just pick a tone from here and then draw. And that will be darker than that, as you see. Darker than that, so I can put a gap in between the building, clean up the chimney. I'm only doing this to demonstrate really. I'm not going to take it very much further, but you see what I mean. It's quite easy to add stuff. Got a hole there. Okay, I'll stop there because I might well be already taking it too far. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the first stage, and the next stage, I get carried away with this. This is quite fun, this bit. So I'm probably putting in stuff that's going to be completely irrelevant, so I shall cease. Okay, just one more bit. I keep on seeing another bit you could put in. What fun. It should always be fun. There we go. So we'll save that off and put it into Comfy, and then we'll see what we get. I don't really want to make this a Comfy tutorial, but I'll go very quickly through. So I have a basic setup here with one LoRa. This is completely plain vanilla, nothing clever at all. Got a turbo with the turbo scheduler. I find that works better than the other schedulers. There's some connection to the model there that I don't understand, but it definitely works better than the other ones. And I've put in I'm going to use the depth control map. So we have depth LoRa in here, load advanced control net, and this is apply advanced control net, which you can all find. And then we put our file in here, which I've cunningly named depth. And I've reduced the size of the file. It's only 1280, but it's in the same proportion as this. It only has to be in the same proportion. And it's going to strength of 1.6. So I've got to plumb it in. So the conditioning comes out and into the sampler, positive, negative, and then the conditioning goes from your prompts. Here's the negative. So we're all plumbed together. Now we just got to do the prompt. For my first prompt, so there's, and the main thing is there's a bridge. So we've got bridge first. Now there's a bit of a castle. We can always change these later. So castle, and there's a town which has roofs and chimneys. Badly spelt. There are, and then consider what else we have here. I'll bring it down a bit so we can see. So we've got, I don't think we want to describe what sort of bridge it is. We can do that later. First of all, the first thing to do is to make sure the AI understands what the hell you're going on about. So I'm going to put cliffs. I'm going to put ravine for the big hole, which makes sense. I'm not going to say what's down the ravine, but I'm laying money it'll put a river down there. And I'll put distant mountains in that slot, because you have slots really. And there's what we've done is our main subject, the bridge, the rest of the stuff in around it, the roofs and the chimneys in the town, and then the landscape in which it's set, which is the ravine. And now we have to do the sky. So there is a sky, and I think we'll have a clear sky. Got enough going on there already. So that's the sort of sky. And close to the sky is the light. So I'm going to say morning light. Quite a lot of deep shadows, I think, because we've got a ravine, haven't we? D shadows. I wonder what they look like. Let's see if I know. Anyway, deep shadows. A lot of people put the style and what it is first. I always put it at the end, along with any other styling comments. So I'll put illustration, and I need to say what sort of illustration, and I'll say, because illustration is always much stronger if it's teamed with what sort of illustration it is. We'll just put the boring old concept. We can adjust any of these, but first of all we want to make sure that everything in our prompt is actually making some sort of difference, and then I will remove anything that doesn't, essentially. Now I've got to put the prompt for the LoRa. This is a sort of steampunky type LoRa. I think this might lean towards the steampunky. A lot of people don't put in the full the full prompt for the LoRa, and really on some new LoRas it doesn't make any difference, but on some LoRas it does make a difference. So it's one of those things. I put it in more to make me feel secure than any other reason. So we all plumbed in, and we will. So everything is good, and you want to fix your noise seed, because you want to do all of your experimenting on one noise seed. We might go through a few to find a good one to work with, but after that you need to have your seed fixed. I will do a few just to check I'm getting the same results every time, roughly, and that I just didn't get lucky first time, and that every other seed will produce complete garbage, which does happen, and you're happily, and as soon as you change the seed you realise that something was wrong with the initial prompt. Okay, so we'll prompt that and see what we get. So that all went wrong. It went wrong the way I didn't expect. I put the dimensions in the wrong way around. So it's taken that and stretched it up vertically, or just taken out. I'm not sure quite. It's taken a vertical section out of it, hasn't it? But okay, it's got most of the elements we wanted. I can see one thing that is maybe a problem. I don't think I'm going to mention a castle. Castle's very strong, so it stuck a castle in the background. I think I'm just going to say bridge and town, and we'll leave out the castle, because it's always going to try and stick a castle here otherwise. But other than that, we've got our gorge. I told you to put a river at the bottom. Well, what I'll do is I shall remove castle. I shall correct my numbers. You see, I got these the wrong way around. I didn't know it would. It's just taken a section out of the middle of it, so it should be a lot better when it's the right way around. So I shall take out castle, and I shall prompt again. So here it is back. And the AI is obviously quite pleased with it, because it's signed it twice. So, do we have everything we talked about? This is the main thing. So, we've got our bridge. We have our town. So, start at the beginning. Bridge. Yep, we've got our bridge. Town. Yeah, we've got our town. That's all fine. We've got roofs. We have chimneys. Yes, both. We have cliffs. Yes, we have both. Distant mountains. Distant mountains are present and correct. Clear sky. Oh, I'll forgive it, the clouds. Morning light. Very good on the morning light. Look at that. Deep shadows. Yes, we have deep shadows. And it's a sort of vaguely concept illustration, isn't it? I'm not quite sure what the dark stuff to the left is there, but above the building, some very dark clouds up there, but I think another seed would get rid of those. So things that don't work. We haven't got our drawbridge. I don't think we're going to get our drawbridge. That's going to have to be hand done. I don't think that's going to happen. It's given it some dimensionality, which is great. It's taken my flat series of panels, and it's it's turned them into a real dimensionality. The houses nearby and a great rift in between them going right down the middle. So I quite like that. I think that's good. So my next move is to process a set of other noise seeds. So I can get a really good one. And I'm going to add a couple of style comments in here. I don't want the medievals, but I sort of don't want the full steampunk either, so it's very difficult. I'm going to have to put in steampunk, I think. Otherwise it's just going to go down the full medievals, isn't it? So I'll act confused. I'll make it confused. I'll give it domes rather than roofs. Town is fine. Bridge is fine. And I shall add some style stuff in here. So I'm going to put in Baroque. Now I don't start putting too many of these in at once, because otherwise you don't quite know what each one is doing. So I think I'll just leave Baroque. I think that might banish the we got a slight sort of, a slight alpine town here, which I'm not altogether keen on. And I think we'll do that. We'll do a batch of 2 on a randomised seed, and we will see what we get. Do I put in drawbridge? No, that's too many. It's a very bad idea to make too many changes at once. It's very easy to think, I've got to do that, and that. But it never turns out well. We do just 2 of these. Okay, here we are in the back. This is number 1. Look like we're still deep in Bavaria here. Let's hope number 2 is something better. No, that's much more it. Okay, so what I'll do... that'll give me a nasty shock. I thought, oh my god, it's all going to go wrong. Just when I'm trying to make a video of it. So let's put our depth map beside it, roughly, and have a look at what's working and what's not working. Right, so it's mended the bridge. I think I'm going to have to forget about the drawbridge and put broken bridge, although it'll probably smash it to smithereens. Now it's joined this onto this, so this here could go a little darker, although I don't mind that. I think I'm going to prompt stone bridge. It's nice, the wrought iron, but I'm not sure it's what I want. Ravine and I don't want an extra bridge down here, but that's a Photoshop tool. I very much like the little bits of town. I don't like the style of them, but they're great. They fit really. See, that fits really well, and so does that. It's not at hugely strong levels. We've lost this bit of building here. I can't work out why we've lost that bit of building there. We can always make that a little bit lighter. In fact, we could lighten this side a little bit, and it'll turn the bridge. It'll pull this side of it towards us, which might work well. Give it a bit of added dimension. I very much like with what it's done up here. That's really nice. It's slightly hanging over the edge there. I'm not sure. It's going to collapse, I think. So in order to stop that, I might fill in these holes here and put a bit of a structural support in there. little bit of stuff going in there to hold it together. But other than that, I've got a bit of an onion dome there. Dome up here. I've had worse iterations, I have to say, and it's only signed it the once. I don't like this clutter on the hill here. But that we can deal with styling. I'm going to do a little bit of alteration to this next, I think. Then we'll deal with the prompt issues. But we want to fix on this seed. So if I open this in text edit. So if we open this in text edit, here's our seed number. You see, seed number. And you'll see our prompt in here as well somewhere. Here we go, here's our prompt. So you've always got that in your PNG. So I can have this seed number, pop in here, and we'll fix it. So all the next things we do will be based on this seed number, because I know it gives us everything we want. It gives us nice light, gives us our ravine. Anyway, so off to Photoshop. Here we are in Photoshop, and we want to edit our thing. So I want to find this, that one was too near. So I'm going to lighten that one. So this tone here was too light, so I want to darken it. So I will just select these areas and hope that which is pretty good, and I want to darken them. I think we have to dump our bridge, our drawbridge. It's not going to be realistic. It's not going to happen. I can always draw one in, and these cables and stuff are producing results I'm not too keen on. And also I want to add a support here. So I'll get a bit of that, lighten it a little bit, and we'll put a support down here. So let's put a support down there. which is all good. Now, I like the dome it did there, so we'll run with that. Make this a bit more domey as well, and I can put some more domes in. If we're going with domes, I'll put some more Baroque type shapes in. I think we'll leave the this villagey here. I'm still mulling over the steampunk thing. I might try and percentage a bit of steampunk in. And we've just got a broken bridge now. I probably won't have to prompt further. The other thing I'm an arguing over is I'm not sure I want quite so much of this frilly stuff. Right, so that we'll save that as the second depth map. So here we are back in Comfy, and our new map has been dropped in. I've got 2 changes to do with the prompt, I think, which will make it a stone bridge. And I think I'm going to weight Baroque. I'm fighting this, put steampunk in, but we'll weight it below 1. And then if this works okay, we only need 1 batch. And if this works okay, we'll consider, because we got this steampunky sort of lore in here, it'll jump up and do handsprings at the thought of at the word steampunk being in there, you see. And I might alter the ravine a little, deep, push that river down a bit perhaps. And I think we're ready to go on that. Cue prompt. Right, so that wasn't so great. Mostly okay in format. It's moved rather far away from this, so I've increased the weight of that. I'm going to weight Baroque, because I think that might make the bridge stone. I changed it from concept illustration to painting, because I don't like what's happening on the rock there very much. And I put a different Laura in. The other Laura wasn't quite strong enough, so I put another Laura in. And I think that is all. And we hope we get lucky, but this is the process of generating, making sure you've got what you want. I mean, you can see that this is moved too far away from my original, and it's very determinedly making this bridge iron. I don't mind it being iron, I suppose, we'll see. So after a couple of iterations, this is what we have, and it's not really what I want. It's nice enough, has some potential, but the first one I did is nearer. So, as is often the case with making stuff with AI, I've got to backtrack and find a new way forwards. So what I'm going to do is go back to the first generation I did, which I liked, and see if I can take that one forward more direct, and I'll show you how I can do that. So here we are back in Photoshop. I've done a few edits to image, if you see there, and I've added some hue saturation to unify it a bit and take away the picture booky feel a little bit, like so. And I have made from this image a new depth map. I've used alpaca for that because it's easy. So this is a new depth map made from this image. So it's made from this image. As you see, it's not terribly detailed or anything, but that's fine. So what that means is this image will be used for image to image, and this will back the image up in the control net, which may or may not be needed, but whatever happens, the 2 parts will come from the same place. Okay, so we take that all back to Comfy. Back in Comfy, we get rid of our empty latent image, and then we add a load of VAE encode, put that into our latent, the VAE on, load our image, load our new depth map, depth map 3. We're still on the same fixed seed, and then we will alter the denoise to 0.7, so 70% of this image can be changed. So 70% of that can be changed. You never know quite what the right figure will be. We'll run that and see what we get. I did a few adjustments. I've done some adjustments for the prompt. I've changed the time of day to early morning, and I've put Misty in, which has made it stick more to this. If you can get both of them in, as you see, it's starting. It really, really wants to mend that bridge because it doesn't understand the way AIs work. You think if I write broken bridge, it joins broken onto bridge. It really doesn't. It will break other things. There might well be broken things in here if we go and look. So it doesn't necessarily connect broken with bridge. Not even if you put brackets. Putting brackets around it, I've tested. It makes no difference whatsoever. It's the equivalent of weighting it maybe to 1.1. I'm going to put brackets around it anyway. And now I'm going to add a style Laura, a painting style Laura. I'm in 2 minds whether to do a Laura that smooths things off or an artist style one. I'm going to try a Laura which tends to smooth things off first, and then we'll see. So we'll go add node, load Laura, and we're going to do, it's one of the many envy ones, called Ethereal Grace for some reason. We'll plumb it in. That's what we'll say they hate the noodles. I like them. I think they're great. So we'll put the Q in for that and push the button. The Ethereal Grace. Yeah, okay. If you say so. But I think it will do the job. It'll just have to go into a much lower level than that. What we'll do, we'll cut Ethereal down to size. 1.3 I think we'll do for you. And try again. And this is the process with AI really. It's iterative. You make a change, see if it works. If it's too much, knock it back, try again, and so forth. The whole thing where you just put a string of words in and a magic image pops out, I don't think produces the best, most interesting images. But here we go. We're going to see what that one does now on a de-ethereal. So here we are, and we're getting very close now. We have a broken bridge because I took bridge out. Of course, I just put arch instead of bridge, so it was having a tendency to put bridges everywhere. But now we're looking very nice. I think we're pretty much there. It's got a great feel. The architecture is whimsical, but not. There's a sort of point where I find things become too insane, I think would be the way to put it. And there's a sort of moment when a whole picture hangs together and everything could be sort of possible. I like this, put a nice little path down there, which is rather beautiful, and everything hangs together really. And we're pretty close to our original idea. But I thought I would do this video to show that the path to a decent image is rarely smooth. You see this clutter down here? I would like the break to be complete along here. But that is easy fix, because what I'll do now is a couple of other seeds. I'll do maybe 4 on other seeds, and one of them will have the ravine without a bridge on it. So anyway, I could just Photoshop it, but and also now I've got this, I might find if I do other seeds, nearly every one will be a bit like this, so I can take a bit from one and stick it in another in Photoshop to complete the picture. But I mean, it's very nice. The sun is great there, beautiful light, very nice. So what I do now is I will add a repeat latent batch, which allows me to do a batch with image to image. And we'll do a whole 4 of them. We'll shake up the seed, make the seed random, press go, and I'll be back in a bit. 4 back. Still got little bridges. But we've got some nice variations here. Don't like the castle in the distance. That's nice, no castle in the distance. Little bridge. But this bit's clear. Should be able to assemble. Another one. Ah, look at this. That's rather nice. I think that I like everything about that one. Very good. I like this little door with the lights. And another one that's very nice. I like the right-hand side of this one. Don't like the castle, but I like the right-hand side of that one. Okay, we'll take those off to Photoshop after we up-res them. I'm assuming you know how to up-res them. I use an upscaled model, very straightforward, and I usually just load the images in directly rather than so I shall upscale them with upscale with model, and see you in Photoshop. So here we are back in Photoshop, and I'll now use the automatic select tool to select bits and pieces. So I've cut that out. Whether I use it, I might not use, may or may not use that. I've cut that section out, and I've cut my background out. So I might not want, I probably, because I like this generation the most, and the only thing I don't like about it is these little bridges. I hate these little bridges. So I can cut the distance out of that, and because they're all generated so consistently, I can literally drop. This is just, I've just done this with the automatic, and there's some bits that don't quite work, but you just come in with the eraser and they're gone. There's probably other bits, so I'll go over it. And then the last thing to do only is to supply a bit of atmosphere that if the sun was there, it would burn out slightly. So I'll put a glow over there a bit, not too much. Pull it back just to the sun. That's better. So there we have it, the finished image, I think. I would fiddle with it some more. And I might even take it back into Comfy and apply a bit more of a painted style to it, very gently with image to image. But I've got a pretty the bones of it are pretty good. It's all very self-consistent. It's fine. Relatively lights on, but they're soon dealt with. And anyway, so there's the process. Not quite as neat and tidy as a writer prompt. writer ever so deadly clever prompt. Press the button and there, woohoo, an image appears. I don't like that really. It's not you making the image. It's just a random occurrence. So, okay, I hope that was interesting and entertaining. Thank you very much.